What is going on, YouTube? St. Gradelock here. I'm your sorry going to say to all my wonderful, beautiful faces out there. This is just Missy, love you. Today we got deck profile of Palemoon for standard, and of course I got Nem here with his SP'd out, hollowed out Palemoon deck. He's going to break it down for us. Take it away, Nem.
How's it going, everyone? So we have our starter, Entertain Messenger. He is, the one when you draw right on top of him, you draw a card. It's pretty nice, very nice. So we're gonna start with the trigger lineup. I play, of course, 4 draw trigger PGs because they're pretty good. Then generally, the deck when you play it doesn't really have a hand, so I play 2 extra draw triggers, so it can guard.
Is there any moment where you might deck out?
No, not really, because
close games.
Because the cards, like half the cards that soul charge say when they have to be placed from hand, so you don't really deck out. Like I'm not even close, probably like not even half through the deck.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So I'm not playing any fronts. I'm playing 6 crits because fronts are bad. If you're playing no guards, an Excel Vanguard, it's really hard for them to come back if they didn't hit any defensive triggers. So hitting a crit on, like, say, a 15k Vanguard is pretty good for the Excel player. And, like, the comms can get big, so crits are pretty good. And they're all goblins. Oh, this is a demon, but that's a goblin. So, yeah, crits are good. Fronts aren't. And then, of course, 4 heals. Should be Popcorn Boy, but it's not. Okay. Next we have grade 1s. We have 4 starting presenter. The card is on place from hand. MEarth, soul charge 1. And then when you're right on top of him, you can put a card from your hands into the soul to soul charge a card from your deck, and you may call that card that you soul charged from the top. 50% of the time it's a trigger. Other 50% of the time it's not. But generally it's a midnight bunny most of the time. So the card's alright. If there's something better in wave 2, then it's probably gonna get cut. But it's there for the soul charging. Like, you need to see your key pieces to actually start attacking. Next we have pretty much I think the best grade 1 in the deck, 4 Midnight Bunnies. Sadly, they are not all. Congratulations. So what she does is, on boost, you have to soul charge 1. So it's pretty good to get your cards into your soul for costs and calling. And then she has an on hit Van Rear. On the if you hit your opponent's Van or Rear, to counterblast 1, she goes into the soul, and then you call it non-grade 1 anywhere. So it's very good in every matchup. It's really strong in Excel because your opponent either is going to guard for the rear guards or guard for the Van. They can't really do both as an Excel deck. So as an Palemoon has a pretty good matchup against all Excel decks because they attack way too much. So you can attack the Van and they can attack the rears, like potentially getting rid of all the rears. And if they don't guard for the rear and she's boosting that column that was attacking, you can get another attack out potentially on the Excel circle, especially is pretty good. You get to call another card. So yeah, this card's very strong. And then we play 4 purple Trapezius. She is sadly a 7k, but she is pretty good for what she does. So what she does is when she's put into soul from rear guard, you can soul blast any purple Trapezius from your soul to call any unit from your soul. But they're only the problem with this is only like a few cards that put her into the soul that are in the grade 2s and grade 3s. So this card doesn't do much by herself. So yeah, but generally she is a combo enabler. Get more attacks with her, so that's why she's pretty good. Next, going on to grade 2s. Fun begins. So I'm playing 4 Jumpin Joe. Jumpin Joe she resets columns. when she's called from soul. So what she does exactly is when she's placed from soul, you put a rear guard from your field into the soul, and you call non-2 to the back row, so you can't really loop jolts. And what you generally do is, she's really good when you're on grade 3 and your opponent's on grade 2, because your columns are going to be hitting for 20k. So even if your opponent hits one defensive trigger, your attacks are still going to hit on rear guard columns. And she's very, very strong with Midnight Bunny, because you're going to be soul charging a lot, and your opponent's going to be either taking 20k hits or guarding them. So that's cards out of their hand. She's also really good. She's one of the cards for putting in purple Trapezius into the soul. And you can actually get, potentially, if you have the right setup on the field, you could potentially get 3 more attacks if purple Trapezius was on the field and you call this out in the same rear column with her. So yeah, I think she's very necessary, but again, she doesn't really do much by herself, so calling her from hands is not that good. I'm playing a 2 of 1 card I'm about to show, but it should be a 3 of, so once I get the third one, it's gonna this go down to 3. My Jumpin Joe's pretty good. So the 2 of is 2 of the promo. It's Dreaming King of Comedy. The card's really strong. That's why I need a third one of this. He is a 9k. When a card is called from soul during a turn, once per turn he gets +5. So he hits for 14 by himself. Boosted by an 8k, he's 22. And from the 3k boost from Golden Beast Hammer, he's 25 on rearguard column, which hits over 4 Vanguards if they do hit defensive trigger, and it's 27 on Excel Circle. So that's good against both Excel and Protect. So I think the card's very necessary for hitting numbers. So, and you just combo it off with Golden Beast Hammer or Alice when you get to that point. So yeah, the card's very good. One more. Next to play 3 Nitro Jugglers. Nitro Juggler is on place from hand, Van Meer. Check top 2, put 1 into your soul, the other goes to the bottom of your deck. It's generally a trigger that's going to the bottom of my deck, so never saying those again unless I have to GS this for a grade 3. He's alright. It sucks that they made this and Starring Presenter only from hand soul charge, but you generally do not want to deck out. I've had that problem with Magia, where I'm close to decking out because if everything is on play soul charge. So I'm kind of happy that it's not soul charge every time I have to call him, because maybe like the top 2 cards are triggers that I'll want to soul charge a trigger and put 1 to the bottom when I have to swing with my Vanguard. So he's just there to get your combo pieces live. You want to see this early game when you ride to grade 2 and call him to the side when you ride to grade 2. Because if you're forced to ride Alice, it's a sad day when you have to ride Alice. At least you can call this out Alice, or if you get an Alice off of this in the top 2, then that's grade 2. So you kind of have to see this card. And the last grade 2 is 3 MEarth Beast Hammer. What she does is Van Meer when he attacks a Vanguard. Cost, you may put 1 other rearguard into your soul from the field, and she gets +3. So she's another card that hits for force numbers on rearguard columns by putting a rearguard in. So with this card, you generally want to don't put rearguards in if you only have 5 units, but if you have more than 5 units, then sure, if it's going to hit for a magic number, if you do it, then you would gladly do it. It's also good for resetting rearguards, so you don't have to call over them, like Jumpin Joe and you're just generally Jumpin Joe or anything, because you want to like spare as many rearguards as possible in your soul. And she's another purple Trapezius enabler. And yeah, I think she's pretty good. Before this card got revealed, the purple Trapezius was looking like very bad, so I was glad that this card got revealed, especially because the plus 3k really matters against Force, especially on Van. If your Vanguard can't hit, if you don't have a booster, so it's good.
You gotta make those numbers.
Yeah. And then finally, we're getting to
LVP.
Play 4 SVR Golden Beast Tamer.
Where's the bear?
Yeah. Henry can play the bear if he wants. So you wanna, of course, ride Golden Beast Tamer, because if you're not on this, then you're kind of losing the game. Because sitting on more than one turn on Alice doesn't do anything. So what she does is she has a continuous ability where if you have 5 units during your turn, including yourself, your front row gets +3. So the +3 really matters a lot, because if you have a grade 2 on an Excel circle, they're only going to be hitting for 19, but with her, they're hitting for 22. So against Excel and Protect, they have to guard with a 15k shield instead of a 10k shield now, which is really good for those matchups. And then she has an auto effect when she attacks anywhere. So if you swing at a rear guard, if you swing at the Vanguard, you counterblast 1, put a rear guard put a card from your hand into the soul, and then call up the 2 cards from your soul. And you get so many attacks off of this card that it's literally ridiculous. You can swing with 2 cards in the Excel circle and then call them over with Golden Beast Tamer, and you get 2 more big attacks on Excel circles. So yeah, you kind of need to see this card or you lose with this deck pretty much. Next we have 3 Alice. Alice has a Vanguard skill. When placed from hand, when placed in general, you may call Workroid from your soul, and it gets +5. There's only 3 Workroids in the deck, which are her, Nitro Juggler, and Jumpin Joe. You generally don't want to call Jumpin Joe with this, because Jumpin Joe won't really do much if you have no rear guards on the field. But calling Nitro Juggler makes him a 24 on Excel circle. And if you manage to get another Alice into the soul, then calling an Alice with Alice is pretty good. But you generally do not want to ride Alice, because more than one turn on Alice, and she's just a 12k that does nothing. But what's good about Alice is her rear guard effect, which is after battle. Doesn't have to hit. It's just after battle. You may counterblast Soulless 1, put her into the soul, and you call a non-grade 3 from your soul. So she gets so many attacks. You generally want to have her on Excel circle, because she's going to be swinging for 25, which hits for Force numbers also. So that's a 50k guard. And then you're going to call the combos. Generally, you call Purple Trapezius with her, and then you put Purple Trapezius in with Amaranth, or next card I'm going to go over, and then you call her back out, and you get another attack with her. You're going to call a grade 2 after that. But if you're that good, you have another Purple Trapezius in your soul, you call that, and another activator for Purple Trapezius. Then you call another Alice out, and you're like, okay, they might as well be dead at that point. She's pretty good also on rear guards, in a rear guard column, because you can call Jill with her and reset the column, because Jill can reset columns. But you generally want to have Alice on an Excel circle. And finally, I play 2 Calamity Camaros. The card doesn't have a gift, but that's okay. If you're forced to ride this, then you're kind of screwed, but it's fine. If you have the option, you could put this into your soul with Starting Presenter to get it out of your hand. So if you don't have another grade 3, you can just eventually G-assist for one if you have to. But what's good about this card is that it's another activator for Purple Trapezius. So what he does is when he attacks, you Soul Blast 1 to put a rear guard into your soul, and he gets +5. and then if you haven't countercharged this turn, you countercharge one. And the deck really needs countercharge because your Golden Beast Hammer's a counterblast and Alice is a counterblast, and you're using both of those every turn. So he's very strong. There are people that play the Grade 2 countercharger, but I generally don't like it because you need all face down damage to get the countercharge at the end of the turn, but you generally want the countercharge immediately. It's because some people would like prevent you from getting a counterblast. So you're swinging at your ears. You can't use Golden Beast Hammer, so you call this, and you're like, hey there, I can do it this time. So the card's very necessary. Sometimes I protect this card with my life if I have no open counterblast. Because he hits for big on a rear column, but he hits for bigger on XL circle, so that's why he's pretty good. So yeah, it's 9 grade 3s, 12 2s, and 12 1s. That's the ratios.
12, 12, 12.
Well, 9, 12, 12.
9, 12, 12, 16.
Yeah. So, yeah. That's the deck. Hopefully, wave 2, we get some better like resource management and cards that give us advantage. Because this deck currently is like playing on the edge of its seat. Because we have like generally 6-7 card hand. So, yeah. Peace.